All right, here is
Fire
this is
now.
one thing. We'll talk about Israel Palestine a little bit. There were two people that actually were pro Palestine, and then the rest was like pro Israel for the most part. Okay, but here it is. Here's Rami Youssef, who I think is very nice. I'm gonna give him a little follow here. He said this on the red carpet or on the interview
Thinking
portion.
two things. We're thinking ceasefire now, and Jeremy, please don't do another Calvin Klein ad.
So he's the one guy to say something by all appearances, shaking my head. And then the other guy was the Dove guy, right? Yeah, Jerry from Succession wore a pro-Israel ribbon pin I saw, which was devastating. But I guess it's very Jerry behavior. Where's that article? There's an article that was covered that I saw. People were wearing yellow ribbons, okay? And the yellow ribbons that people were wearing were to signify the remaining hostages, okay? The remaining 130 or so hostages that other Palestinian forces still have held hostage. Now, at this point, it's like, dude, there's been 30,000 Palestinians that have been murdered. Like, what do you mean? I mean, listen, I care about those hostages too. You know what I mean? Like, it's important, okay? But it's like wild and so transparent. It is so transparent, especially when the IDF is like killing more of the hostages. But even if the IDF, or what was the 30K number from? Sorry, 22K that we know of, 22K that we know of, 20K that we know of. I get ahead of myself here sometimes, and so Golden Globes, the meaning of the yellow ribbons worn by the attendees. Ribbons of a specific color are a longtime symbol of solidarity on red carpets. Here's why yellow made an appearance this year. And I read this article and it gave me a brain aneurysm, okay, immediately, like instant brain aneurysm, okay? We're talking Israel is like taking out 10 baby legs, okay, 10 child legs a day, all right? Like amputations are occurring. No anesthesia amputations are occurring on an insane clip, okay? Currently the largest amount of food lack of access to food happening on the planet. Food insecurity happening on the planet. Okay? And it's wild to me that while all of that is happening and Israel is just like mercilessly destroying Gaza, but also killing the Israeli hostages themselves, right? Like directly killing them sometimes, but also indirectly killing them alongside the Palestinians with the bombing campaigns. Okay? And you got people being like, oh yeah, you know what? You know who needs our support right now? Israel. And it's so obvious that you can't just be like, I support Israel in its endless bombing campaign and its ethnic cleansing campaign. So you have to like desperately grab on to release the hostages as a message. And that's precisely what's going on here. Okay? I'm sorry. That is exactly what it is. It is a very cynical ploy to try and say that like you're still pro-Israel unconditionally, and you can't say it when Israel's killed 20,000 Palestinians, 20,000 plus Palestinians. So you have to say like, oh, well, let's release the hostages, please. Because the reality is, if you're looking at it from the outside, okay, if you're looking at it from the outside, you look at that and you're like 150 hostages are still being held hostage in Gaza, right? And then you look at 20,000 people have been murdered, including hundreds of hostages so far by Israeli hands, right? And you're still, if you look at that situation and go, okay, well, I want the hostages to be released, then you have to be a pro-ceasefire guy. You have to look at the situation and go, well, who's killed more hostages, Hamas or Israel? What are we doing? It's such a classic case of like deliberately crafted PR. So anyway, Red carpets may be a chance to talk up current projects while wearing high wattage fashion, but they're also an opportunity for stars to express their support for vital issues. Yeah, what are those vital issues? Only issues that the American State Department is aligned with, okay? That's what you're going to find out here. That's why viewers of Sunday's 2024 Golden Globe Awards are seeing some attendees wearing yellow ribbons at tonight's ceremony. J. Smith Cameron of Succession and John Ortiz of American Fiction are among the stars who have arrived, sporting a yellow ribbon to show support for the roughly 130 hostages who are still being held in captivity by Hamas since the terrorist organization attacked Israel on October 7th. The symbolic effort was organized by Bring Them Home, an Israeli hostage advocacy organization that has been working behind the scenes to supply the ribbons and is being coordinated by Ashley Margolis, founder of Beverly Hills-based branding agency The A-List. While the Israeli hostages are the main focus of the effort, the hostages reportedly represent 30 nationalities. Others who wore yellow ribbons at the 2024 Golden Globe Awards include Paramount Pictures and Nickelodeon president CEO Brian Robbins, Amazon Studios Julia Rappaport, Mattel chairman and CEO Ynon Kreiz, Skydance Media president COO Jesse Siskold, and Skydance's sport president John Weinbach. The choice of yellow is rooted in the origins of the symbol. Yellow ribbons became a popular emblem of support during the 1979 Iran hostage crisis, when 52 Americans were held in captivity in Tehran for 444 days. Worn on lapels and seen in the front porches and trees across the U.S., the yellow ribbon became the most widely used symbol of bringing hostages safely home. Past red carpet ribbon appearances have included blue ribbons at the 2022 and 2023 Academy Awards, organized by the United Nations Refugee Agency Coalition to show support for, respectively, Ukraine and refugees around the globe, as well as red ribbons, first seen in 1991 as a symbol of HIV and AIDS awareness. It's just like, I wonder how much of a hell would break loose if people were, wearing Palestinian flags, for example, and their badges. I mean, Palestinian flag badges on their lapels. It's just like, this goes way beyond anything, really. It's just like, it's another one of those instances where it's like, it's not enough that you're not saying anything about the genocide, but you want to potentially show support to Israel while it's conducting that said genocide. Okay? If that's what your goal is, then, you have to do it in a way that you can launder it in a more permissible fashion in the midst of the ongoing genocide. And the best way to do that is by being like, the hostages, I care about the hostages. If you cared about the hostages, you'd be advocating, okay? You'd be advocating for a ceasefire. So yeah, this is silly, it's cynical, it's gross, but what are you going to do? That's it. Some things are permissible, some things are seen as like appropriate, and some things are not. And the unfortunate reality is that, supporting Palestinians and trying to speak out against the endless occupation and ethnic cleansing campaign is not exactly great, not allowed.
For believing in this movie from the very beginning. To all my fellow nominees, if you're Irish or not, you're all legends. You're stunning work. I salute you.
Yeah, he's speaking to me, saying, my work as an Irishman is stunning and beautiful. You're not going to get it at the Golden Globes, least likely plays. Guys, remember, in his Oscars acceptance speech, Michael Moore very famously criticized America's war against Afghanistan and Iraq and was booed. Okay? Like, these are guys who absolutely unconditionally lap up whatever the State Department propaganda is. They're liberals themselves for the most part, and liberalism is very, very, very reactionary and very pro-war in America. They're just rich people. They're rich, out-of-touch people, okay?